Hi everyone, I got a new question from a student on chapter 6 problem. So everyone has different number and set of numbers and question numbers are all different for each of you. So this is coming from chapter 6 on present value, future value calculation. And you may have it as number 10 or number 30. It could be any numbers. I don't know which number you have it on your practice exam, but here is the example of that question. This particular question starts with Dunn Corporation. So if you could identify a question that concerns Dunn Corporation, then maybe you could identify which question this is about. So let's take a look. Dunn Corporation is contemplating purchase of a machine that will produce net after-tax cash saving of $37,000 per year for 5 years. So right away you see something about annuity. So if you read the textbook carefully, you should know by now that when there's a cash flow going in or out consistently in same period, in this case every year. So when it says there's a cash inflow outflow every year, then you know right away that I should be using annuity table. Then we need to decide, is it for present value annuity or is it future value annuity? So let's continue to read this question. And then second sentence says, at the end of 5 years, the machine can be sold to realize after-tax cash flow of $6,700. Interest is 12%. Assume the cash flows occur at the end of each year. Now we are required to calculate the total present value of the cash savings. Oh well, it says right there we need to calculate total present value cash savings. So since we don't know the present value, we should look at the present value table. And since we know we are talking about something about annuity, the cash payment going in or out every year, that shows there's we should be using annuity table. Also, the last sentence right here, it says assume the cash flows occur at the end of each year. When a cash flow occurs at the end of each year or each period, you should be using which one? Present value annuity. If it says something about assume the cash flow occur in the beginning of each year or starting beginning this period, it says the cash flow will occur, then we should be using present value annuity due table. But since this statement says that the cash flow happens at the end of each year, so therefore we'll be using present value annuity table, not annuity due. So we'll use present value annuity for the $37,000 per year for 5 years. So how do we use the table? Well, we go to table and we're going to find interest rate under 12%, and the number will be number 5 because there are 5 years involved. So if you go to present value annuity table and go look for under 12%, since it says 12%, so you might have different percentages. So you're going to have to go find that particular percentage. Go find 12% and row should be number 5. Then you should find this 3.60478, that rate. So the way we use table is if you multiply that rate by the annuity amount. If you do that, then you will get a present value of all the cash flows. In other words, $37,000 every year, getting it every year at the end of each year is equivalent to 133,377 of present value if we are applying 12%. So if I just multiply 37,000 times 5, it comes out to 185,000. But present value should be actually smaller that amount because I'm not getting all that 37,000, 5 times of $37,000 today. So whatever my calculation comes out, it should be less than 185,000, right? If you're thinking why should this present value any smaller than 5 times of $37,000 payment, well, that's because you're not getting all that 5 times of $37,000 today. You're gonna get it one in 1 year, second one in the second year, and third year, fourth year, fifth year. So you're not getting all those $37,000 savings today. Today's money is always better than money you're getting later, right? So you're getting money later in future. So today's value is actually smaller than you're going to get in the future. Another second cash flow is coming from the second sentence. The second sentence says, at the end of 5 years, the machine can be sold to realize cash saving of $6,700. So meaning, at the end of 5th year, you could sell the machine and you could get $6,700 from it. So that's a one-time cash flow. One-time cash flow, you use not annuity table, just regular table, present value table. Since we are trying to calculate present value of the future cash inflow of $6,700 that will happen in 5 years, that present value of that money that's going to come in 5 years is actually, when you multiply that rate that it's going to show under 12%, and number 5 is only 3802. Because that $6,700 is going to come to me in 5th year, not today. So today's value is smaller than $6,700. So you have a two separate cash inflow that's happening. One is one time $6,700 that's going to happen in 5th year. The first one here is annuity. Every year you're going to get $37,000. When is it going to happen? It's going to happen at the end of each year. So therefore, you must use present value annuity. So you calculate both of them, you add them up, then you have the total present value of cash savings that you anticipate if you purchase this equipment. So then why are we calculating all this? Well, if you are the investor and you are anticipating this much of cash savings, calculate it into today's money, present value. When you make an investment today, you should not spend any more than $137,179. If you do, then you are not getting 12% back. In other words, if you have a requirement that you must meet 12% return on your investment, then you should not spend any more than the present value you just calculated.